What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. Today, what we're going to do is talk about Cardano. We're going to look at the macro level price history of Cardano in order to determine whether this epic price slide that we're on, coming down from $3.10 just in the beginning of September, and not even 3 months later, now sitting at $1.32. Okay. So before we do that, let's quickly take a look at the DCA index model. Now, if you're new to the channel, what the DCA index model is a risk model that we've developed in order to determine when an asset is overbought and likely in need of a pullback. So in other words, when the price really gets run up, typically the price will need to pull back. And, we have a model that attempts to identify that. We also look for when an asset is oversold in the setting of a bull market about to start a trend reversal. Now, in the case of Cardano, currently we're sitting at around 25. So the scale goes from 0 to 100, 0 being significantly oversold and 100 being significantly overbought. Typically, the price will reverse course when nearing either of these extremes. So at the moment, we're sitting at 25, but with that said, we've been slowly trending down now ever since basically the end of August. So since August 23rd, we hit a peak. We almost got up to 70 when we were sitting at around $3. Then the price increase started to slow down and topped off and now has been coming down. So we're sitting at 25. Okay. So that's not a ringing endorsement to run out and buy Cardano. All that's saying is that Cardano has been there's been tons of sell pressure ever since the end of August. Now, if the market continues to trend downwards, the overall crypto market that is, you'll likely see this number continue to trend down. At least, as the price goes down, we'll probably see this go down. Now, if the market is able to recover some, if Bitcoin is able to get back on track, well, this may turn around. But it's, at the moment, we're sort of in a indeterminate phase of the market overall. So this is what we're watching. All right. So with that said, let's take a look at the price. So like we said, we're sitting right at about $1.32. Now, the first thing I want to point out is if we just zoom out, which is something you should often do whenever you're looking at these assets, if we just zoom out and look back, dating back to March, and we just do a simple trend line, you can see that this low that we made in March, we've tested this trend line. We tested it in November of 2020, then in the middle of November, then we came down and approached it in December. Okay. Then we got significantly overheated and, basically ascended off of this trend line for quite a while, basically from December 25th all the way until the last few days. And now we've come back to this trend line. Now, this macro level trend line has held us as a level of support multiple times in the past. So it will be interesting to see if that continues. Now, the reason I'm showing this specifically is because this level, this trend line level right here, is actually, not the only level of support that we're at the moment. And in fact, Cardano is at a critical juncture in its price with relation to numerous different assets. And we're going to look at that here. So some other interesting things you can see is that if we just look at the price of Cardano, again, we just zoom all the way out. Well, let's go from the prior all-time high. And so if we just come across, you can see we are literally sitting right at this, at least psychological support level that's created by the prior all-time high. And you can see that it's interacted with this level numerous times in the past. It hasn't been, a hard level of support or resistance, but the price has basically, we come up to the line, we go back below, above and below, and we've just been doing this basically since the end of February. All right. When we got up to about $1.20 or so. Okay. So we're continuing to do that now. All we've done is come back to this level that we saw ourselves forming all through the beginning of the year. So basically from February all the way through until July. All right. There were times when we were able to get above it. but we always came back down. And now we're back at it again. So this will be critical because if you notice, we're at this support level here that, this has acted somewhat of a support level. You could argue that realistically it's, closer down to here, and that's fine. That's at about $1.20. So, we have been interacting with this level basically the whole year, and we got separated from it here, but now we're back. And along with the fact that we're at this more macro level uptrend, it will be interesting to see if we can hold these levels as support. Now, it's not out of the question that, we bounce off of these here and are able to make a move back to the upside. Although it draws into question, how are investors looking at Cardano at the moment? It seems like we're moving towards a position where people are starting to value, meaning people are starting to value projects which are creating value. Cardano has lots of promise. It seems like there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but people don't care about behind the scenes. They want networks which are attracting dollars, attracting other developers, building apps on their network. So I think people are getting to the point where they want to see things start to be built on Cardano, and people don't want to hear the promises anymore. They don't care. And that's why you've seen the price come from $3 all the way down to where we're sitting at now. It looks like we are at a critical price juncture as far as the macro level for the USD goes. Now, interestingly, if we move over to Cardano as a percentage of the total cryptocurrency asset class, so you can see that right now it is sitting right at around 2%. Okay, so 0.0198, in other words, 1.98%. If you look here, and I find this to be very interesting, we've actually hit this approximately 1.9% level multiple times. And again, we started hitting it in February, which indicates that Cardano makes up 1.9% of the total cryptocurrency market cap. Think of it as the Cardano dominance, just like we have the Bitcoin dominance. If you see here, we basically came through, then we got above in February, spiked up, okay, came back down to earth, hit it in March, came back up, and then we came right back down to it. And we've just sort of done that all through until May. Then in May, we all know that Cardano just exploded with relation to other. Cardano and Matic sort of exploded at this point, right in the middle of May. And then Cardano actually did quite well compared to a lot of other assets after the market crashed around May 14th. So from May until, basically August, Cardano, with relation to a lot of the other assets, held up quite all right. And you can see that reflected here. It gained about 0.5% of the total cryptocurrency market cap during this time. So from May until August. And then it really exploded when we got up to $3.10. In fact, capturing as much as almost 4.5% of the total market cap. But then we all know what's happened. It's just bled like crazy since the end of August or beginning of September. But critically, if you notice now, we've come down and touched this level yet again, this 1.9%. And sure enough, right when we hit that level, we got a bounce. Now it's going to be critical to see if we are able to hold this level. If we break below it, well, historically, that's been a bad thing. In fact, if we come back here, so let's bring this line all the way out here, you can see this level is not unique to where we're at in the market right now. We have actually, this level has acted as either support or resistance dating back to Cardano's inception, essentially. So we have back here in 2017, this level acts as a level of support right at around 2%, so 1.9%. We bounce off of it and head up to our high. And where was our high? Well, yet again, very similar if we look at the close. So our high occurred right here, right at around where we got to prior to Cardano sliding back down. Now, what happened? It, you know, it's almost as if history is repeating itself. If you look, there's a lot of symmetry going on here. We hit this level and come back down. Now, this back in 2018, we were not able to hold that level as support. We fell below it. We got above for just a short amount of time here in April. And then Cardano went on just the most epic slide, going down, back to about 2.5 cents at various points of the bear market. All right. And here we find ourselves again sitting right at this 2% level. And, this is at the point where rubber meets the road. Cardano, it's almost a decisive moment for Cardano. Like we said, the USD is sitting right at these critical macro level uptrends. The Cardano as a percentage of the total cryptocurrency asset class is sitting right at its most important support level. So we can even come out to Bitcoin and the Cardano to Bitcoin valuation. And you can see that we've been holding this uptrend level since, basically dating back until February. So February is a critical point. We basically set a paradigm shift for Cardano and, reestablishing that it could get back to some of these levels that it got to before. Now, what you're seeing though is we're at this juncture where we're holding these support levels. We're almost holding on to them for dear life. And if we start going below, you can just look where Cardano, what's happened before when it's got below and, significantly went below. It's not pretty. All right. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but, it certainly bears watching. If we get back below this level, it's tough to say where, the price could go. We could start to look at, things like this. So maybe you're looking at something like down here approaching 93 cents. It's tough to say. It's really tough to say, but I do think that at the moment, you know, we're at these critical junctures, especially this point right here. I think this one is going to be very important because if we get below this, what that means is people are valuing the general market more than they're valuing Cardano. And what that means is it's losing total market sentiment. It's not just the market is showing weakness if this drops below and continues lower. It's that Cardano, with respect to the rest of the market, is showing weakness. And that's a bad sign. So these points in time where, we go above this level and then come back down to it, those are totally fine and almost to be expected. But what we do not want to see is Cardano losing favor with relation to the rest of the market. All right. Now, we could just look at a few more things because there's some more interesting points here. This is the price history of Cardano with relation to Ethereum. So the ADA ETH evaluation. And yet again, we're at a critical juncture. It's amazing how these things all line up at exactly the same time. We're at this level, which has acted as either support or resistance. So if we just look at them here, it's, interacted right there. It interacted all through 2018 and early parts of 2019. It fell below 0.0003 level in July of 2019, and then it went significantly below all the way down here. So losing about 35% of the ground with relation to Ethereum. All right. Then, it acted as resistance. Then we finally got above. It acted as support. We fell back below. It acted as resistance until February. And again, that's when a lot of things started to go in Cardano's favor. The speculative nature of the market drove Cardano right near the prior all-time high close. That level acted as resistance for Cardano with relation to Ethereum. It came back down, and now we find ourselves at this junction again, which you're going to want to see Cardano hold. Otherwise, then you're looking at it heading back down here. Okay. So it's what we've seen multiple times in the past. When it gets below this level, when it gets below this support level sitting right here at around 0.0003 against Ethereum. When it goes below that, then you start looking down here, okay? If we move down there, that's about a 37% slide from where we're at now. I think a lot of this is going to depend on the market. If the market trends down, um, you could see this slide down further, but if the market starts to recover, you might see that we're able to hold these levels, okay? So the good news is, guys, to find out whether the price is going to head up or head down from here, you might not have to wait very long. If you look, we're sitting right at this critical junction with relation to every single pairing, okay? Every single pairing, we are right at a critical junction. So at minimum, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to watch. For the sake of everyone out there, I'm hoping that we use this level as support, because if we use it as support and we fall through, it could get ugly. Now, if we can get a bounce off of it, things could be looking good. So let's continue to watch and, um, just hope for the best, I guess. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. If you guys like this type of content, hit like and subscribe. If you're interested in the DCA index model, you can head over to the Telegram channel and I will send you the model. We have the model created for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Matic, all of the top altcoins basically, and we're constantly adding to it. So, and if you want to join the conversation, we do a lot of discussion on data analysis over there. So that's it for this one, guys. Until next time, as usual, see you.